What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome in to My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Show.
What's crack-a-lackin'? Welcome into another episode of My Mind is a Weapon Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Sleaze. Today, we're going to be diving into my top 10 sleeper plays. Now, I know I'm going to get a bunch of questions. These are going to be deep in league plays, or if you're banged up with injury plays, players that I feel that can fill your flex spot to give you like 6 to 10 points or 8 to 10 points with touchdown upside. And I'm going to break down the statistics, the game scripts, some injuries that possibly happen on the defensive side to why I like these players. And we're going to cover every single position, quarterbacks, running back, wide receiver, and tight end here. And one of them, it's probably not going to really count because he had his big blow-up week last week, and it's probably going to happen again this week, but he's still not owned a lot in a lot of leagues. See if you can guess who that is. Drop it in the comments before we dive into the video, even though I bet some of you will watch it and say it, but it's fine. And if you guys have any questions as well, always drop them down below. I try to answer every single one of them, regardless of what the video is. I try to help you guys out any single way possible. If you guys haven't already, tap the thumbs up, hit the subscription button, turn the bell on. I'll be live tomorrow for the first start sit show of the week, and then we are live all weekend long. And if you guys haven't checked out the guys FF or drafters.com, both those links are pinned in the top of the comments and in the description of the video. Me and Big Draft Energy cover everything in our Discord for you guys. Redraft, Dynasty, trades, everything. So if you guys want to check that out, both those are in there. Let's dive into my 10 sleeper plays here for week 12. So starting off with number 1, and remember, we cover all bases here. So this is also Superflex as well. So this is going to cover your Dynasty Superflex if you need. There's still 4 teams on a bye. We're not through the bye weeks yet. So if you need these quarterbacks as well for, Superflex throw-ins, I'll break that down as well compared to redraft, okay? So Shedeur Sanders, man, he is going to make a Superflex sleeper appearance for me this week. Now, I know, and man, it's getting really old, man. Like, all the hate that is out for Shedeur Sanders is absolutely crazy. It's like everyone wants him to fail, including the coaching staff. And it's like they forgot that this guy passed for 4,131 yards at Colorado in the, Big 12. Also, he had Travis Hunter, which helps there. But he also had like a 72% completion percentage, like an NCAA record, the best in college. I don't know if it's a record, but I know it was the best last year. So, of course, he gets thrown to the wolves with a concussion to Dillon Gabriel last week. Wasn't ready, hadn't even taken any first rep practice snaps at all. And he goes into the game and stinks it up and goes like there's the numbers up there, 4 for 16. I was going off the top of my head. Threw a terrible pick. He at least showed you some rushing upside. But, he wasn't even ready to go, and people just want to hate on him. I don't understand it. So I'm going to say that he's going to bounce back in this game. I really want to – this could just be biased because I'm just tired of the hate for him. I want to see him succeed just to shut everyone up. And I watched enough in college to know that this guy's a good quarterback. It shouldn't have gone in the 5th round of the NFL draft. So you're going to get the Las Vegas Raiders, right? We know their season's over. It's going to be a tough matchup. Yes, I do like the Raider defense off the waiver wire against him as well, especially after what you saw last week. But you have to look at it like this. Like, the Raiders in the last 4 weeks, and we know that Dillon Gabriel, the play calling getting ripped from Stefanski kind of opened up the wide receivers a little bit, but not great. Shedeur Sanders could open this all up. I've been waiting to see this all year long. I've been saying he's going to get a start all year long. We're finally here. The Las Vegas Raiders in the past 4 weeks, they give up 38.3 points to the wide receiver. You just saw the Dallas Cowboys run him over. And you got to think, you got the Cleveland Browns defense going up against Geno Smith as well. So how many times are they going to get the ball here? This is going to be a very, very grungy game script with a lot of attempts for, I think, both teams here, because I think both defenses are going to be good here. And the Raiders are giving up 504 yards and 4 touchdowns in the past 4 games just to the wide receiver. So you're looking at 130 yards. That ranks, 25th, 7th worst in the NFL, and a touchdown per game. You saw a little connection with him and Cedric Tillman last week. You've got Jerry Jeudy. We don't know if Njoku's going to be out there or not. He got banged up last week. Could be the Harold Fannin monster show here, especially with the quarterback looking for a security blanket. So if you need a super flex play, again, sleeper play here, I'm not starting him in a redraft. That would be crazy, especially like a 10, 12-man league. You'd be out of your mind. But, man, I just want to see Shedeur Sanders do good because I'm just tired of hearing all the hate. And it's like, man, you're getting hate from people on social media who probably never played a snap of football. Like, come on. Let's be real, guys. Sleeper play number 2, quarterback number 2, and this one is going to hinge on Aaron Rodgers right now. So, I guess we're going live through here. I don't want to give you yesterday's update. So yesterday, the update that I saw was that he's hopeful to practice today, and I haven't seen the update today, and that he's trying to play with a broken, bone in his wrist. His left wrist, his non-throwing hand. So the guy's 41 years old. They got the win they needed. They're 6-4. Do we really think they're gonna, risk possible season ending and throwing Aaron Rodgers out there? I'm gonna go with no, even if he wants to play. The medical staff should be smarter than that. They should be serviceable enough with Mason Rudolph to come in. So this is why I like Mason Rudolph as a sleeper. But again, it does hinge on Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, if Aaron Rodgers is out there, you're looking at, nothing, right? So when we're looking at Mason Rudolph here, very limited this year at all. The crazy thing is if you took his 14 for 18 on the season, he'd have the number one accuracy in the NFL. He's a journeyman. He's been around the league. He's been with the Steelers, I think, for like 4 or 5 years now. I don't know if that's correct. I'm going to say that's close. Or he's been with them, 5 years here. So, Tennessee Titans in 2024. So he knows the system. He knows defenses. He's been around enough. And that's why you can see him come to the game last week and secure the win versus the Bengals. Now, I know the matchup you're going to get this week, right? You're going to be looking at the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears have been absolutely terrible versus the pass. But they could be getting their superstar Jalen Johnson back at corner, which would really hurt DK Metcalf because he is a shadower that goes all over that is absolutely phenomenal. So that's an update we need to pay attention to as well. So there's a lot of updates going into this play call here. And again, this is just a super flex sleeper play. I'm not starting him in redraft, right? So when you look at the Chicago Bears, they rank 26 over the past 4 weeks, giving up 38.9, 713 yards and 4 touchdowns, almost 150 yards a game just to the wide receiver alone. And then if we look at them on the season, right? Let's look at the Bears on the season. They're 36 points. So they've been worse over the past 4 weeks than they have been on the season total. So when I look at this, yeah, he's not going to give you much rushing upside, but he can get the job done. He can give you 15 with major touchdown upside. He's dropped 20-point games before in his career. Last year when he stepped in week 8 and week 9 versus Detroit and New England, he had 21.5, 21.5. And then end of the season, he takes over in week 15. He goes for 19, 14. He is a serviceable backup 100% if he gets in there, and a very, very good super flex play against a very beat-up Chicago Bears defense. But, again, they could get their starting cornerback. So the updates, again, you got to pay attention to Aaron Rodgers and Jalen Johnson here. Even if Jalen Johnson's out there, he'll probably play limited, getting ramped back up, and I still like Mason Rudolph as a sleeper. Heading over to the running back side, sleeper play number 3, running back number 1 is going to be Kenneth Gainwell, who absolutely destroyed fantasy football last week against the Cincinnati Bengals, who are the worst versus the running back, so that's a given. Any running back that plays him does it. Jaylen Warren was my smash play, and of course he got hurt in the game. He would have dropped a 30 bomb himself. And now you're going to get, the Chicago Bears in this game. So, again, we know the Chicago Bears defense is beat up. They're going to be at Chicago. You're going to be in the cold as well. Probably windy city. I've been to Chicago. I've been there on New Year's to watch Devin Hester. It was pretty sick at the time. And it's the windiest place we've been at, which is going to factor into more running, which is why you pay attention to cold weather games. So I know that Jaylen Warren said he could have returned in that game, but he came back in the game and then re-aggravated the ankle again and got hurt again. So there's optimistic updates that he plays this week. That's fine. But still, I'm looking at this as you still have a flex play, even if Jaylen Warren is out there for 8 to 10 points and Kenneth Gainwell if you need, because you're not going to get 100% Jaylen Warren in this game coming off injury. And he's proven time and time again that even with 30% snaps that he can give you 8 to 10 points. I mean, he gave against Cleveland 9 points, 8 points against 8 points against Indianapolis, 9.6 against New England. And again, those are on 20, 30% snaps. That's probably going to be up to 50% this game. You get the Chicago Bears defense. They rank 17th, giving up 22.2. They've given up 1,030 yards on the season, 6 touchdowns, 300 through the air, so about 1,300 yards. We're in week 11. So they're going to give a ton of yards up either way. So if you need, injuries happen, plug and play, flex play, you're in a triple flex dynasty, Kenneth Gainwell, you can throw him in there, and I think he's going to give you 8 to 10 points with high touchdown upside because you saw the Mason Rudolph connection with him last week. You saw the dump-off pass where he scored, so he does have that. He's been practicing with Rudolph all year long. They've been part of Team 2. They know all these things. So if you need a play here, I'm okay with Kenneth Gainwell as a low-end flex sleeper play this week. Sleeper play number 4, running back number 2 is going to be the rookie Shell Tootin. Now, this one, again, we're going to have to pay attention to the updates because his ankle injury happened. And, dude, he was out-snapping Travis Etienne and looked great last week doing it against a Charger run D. And then he got banged up in the game. And then you saw his press conference afterwards, and he was like, I'll be okay with the ankle. I mean, he was spotted off the side of the field on Wednesday, but it wasn't like he was even doing limited practice. So it is sketchy here. And ETN also looked good too. So, I mean, there's takeaways that people are like, oh, yeah, Byshell Tootin taking over looks great. ETN looked great as well. So we're probably looking at a split backfield, maybe 60, 55-45 ETN or 60-40 ETN still. Byshell Tootin has never played over 32% of the snaps on the year. So that's just already, if I say 60-40, it's going up. And he put up 15 carries for 74 yards and a touchdown last week with a 5.0 yards per carry. We know this guy is an explosion. That's what he was out of college. So when you look at the matchup here versus Arizona, they rank 24th, giving up 24.7 points per game, 977 yards, 10 rushing touchdowns, 300 through the air, so 1,300 total yards, and 3 touchdowns through the air, which is 13 touchdowns. Again, we're in week 11. That's about 1.2 to 3 touchdowns a game. And Tootin is even getting red zone touches. Look at that number down at the bottom, 15 red zone touches. That's number 33. For a guy that's played 30% of the snaps, or 23.9 on the season, is terrible. But again, his highest snap share was 32%, and that was last week. And we know he can get it done through the air as well. So, and Liam Cohen likes the guys he drafts, man. So if you need a flex play again this week, I'd say this one a little higher, I guess I'd say, than Kenneth Gainwell. I guess that depends on if Jaylen Warren's out there or not. If Jaylen Warren's not out there, then you're smashing Gainwell in your lineup. But Byshell Tootin, low-end flex play, I put him a little higher than I would Kenneth Gainwell. Sleeper player number 6, running back number 3 is going to be Devin Singletary of the New York Giants. And he's worked his way now into a timeshare with Tyrone Tracy. And if you look at the past couple weeks alone, I mean, week 9 versus San Francisco 49ers, 56% of the snaps. Week 10 dropped back down to 33 because it came more of a pass-heavy game script there against Chicago. And then week 14 against Green Bay, they kept in that game with Jameis Winston. He still had 49% of the snaps with 16 carries and 2 touchdowns. And what you have to look at is Tyrone Tracy's kind of like that DeAndre Swift body type. He's not going to get a lot of the goal line work. But there's also the scare of Jackson Dart is going to be back this week. He practiced in full today with the first team taking the reps. So does that carry away where Jackson Dart takes the rushing upside in the red zone, kind of like Josh Allen? Yeah, that's a possibility for sure. But there's still the upside chance of Devin Singletary getting a touchdown. So when you look at this matchup here, you're going to be getting the Detroit Lions. And the Detroit Lions, again, this is a sleeper play at best. They have been very, very good versus the running back. They have actually been number 1 over the past 4 weeks, only giving up 16.1 points per game. It's been unbelievable. I mean, this is on the season, by the way, guys. This is not last 4 weeks. I'm looking at it wrong. So they rank number 1, 763 yards only. We're in week 11. Very good. They give up 16.7 points. They've given up 204 yards on the ground, 0 touchdowns through the air, only 5 touchdowns on the ground. So it's not sexy by any means. The matchup is going to be rough. Aiden Hutchinson's going to be out there, but you also got to look at it like they're probably in garbage time in this game. The Lions probably mopped the floor with them here. It's at Detroit. You're in a dome, too. There's no cold weather, nothing to worry about there. So, again, low-end plug-and-play, flex play if you need, coming off 2 touchdowns last week. Maybe they ride the hot hand in the red zone again. Again, don't love it, but if you need a plug-and-play flex play, I'm okay with Devin Singletary as a low-end flex play this week. Sleeper player number 7, heading over to the wide receiver side, and this is the one from the beginning where I said take a guess before the video starts. I don't know if he really counts as a sleeper, but his ownership still at 51% is still going to put him in sleeper territory for me. And that is going to be Michael Wilson, who just looked like Julio Jones in his prime last week versus my San Francisco 49ers, which is why I tell you my San Francisco 49er defense is a pot of fantasy gold because we can't stop anybody. And he literally had 18 targets, 15 receptions, 185 yards for 33.5 fantasy points. What the hell? Michael Wilson erupted, and he showed talent. And we know that Marvin Harrison Jr. is ruled out. DeMarcado was ruled out. We don't know if Trey Benson's going to be out there. You're probably looking at another pass-heavy attack here against the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. And when you're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars defense, right? So let's go on the season here first, okay? And let's find the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they rank 20th, giving up 33 points a game, okay? They've given up 1,414 yards, 11 touchdowns as well. And if you look over the past 4 weeks, it's going to be better because they just stymied Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Keenan Allen, and Rondé Gatson. The Jaguars just mopped the floor with him, played absolutely great ball last week. But this is not the same situation. So the situation we're looking at here is if they get ahead, there's no run game at all. This is going to be pass. Jacoby Brissett's actually looked great, made this offense look better. And I'm willing to say that he's even a high-end flex play that I like a lot this week because he's going to see over 10-plus targets. Trey McBride is going to be their focal point, even though he's impossible to stop either way. Dude, the guy's averaging like 20 points a game over the past 5. Jacoby Brissett has just made this offense better. That's just plain and simple. Kyler Murray has never even put up these numbers even close. So if you need to throw out Michael Wilson, I am 100% okay with it as a flex play. And again, I really don't know if it counts as a sleeper because he put up 33 last week, but he's still not owned in a lot of leagues, which makes no sense to me. Sleeper player number 8, wide receiver number 2. And if you guys have been subscribed to the channel or you've been here for the 2 years since I've been doing YouTube, I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. You guys are here OGs from day one. But I've been talking about this guy since Texas, Adonai Mitchell. And you just got the update right now that Adonai Mitchell is going to get all of the work. He is going to be the Garrett Wilson role now. Now, I know last week was his first game there. And yeah, he had a couple drops. You know, the one over the shoulder, I don't really count as a drop with Chris Gonzalez draped on you. But he absolutely toasted Chris Gonzalez, who's a superstar corner last week. Dude, he had a 33.3% separation in week 11 alone, which is a top 5 number, which is bonkers. Yeah, he had a big drop across the middle on the bullet he fired at him. That's fine. I mean, the guy's been in New York for 10 days, right? And Justin Fields is your quarterback. Now we got Tyrod Taylor. Maybe we open up a little passing game that hasn't been there for the Jets because they've been under 150 yards for like the past 5 games straight. So the matchup you're looking at here, yeah, you're going to get the Baltimore Ravens, and their defense has been getting better. You know, Hamilton got a little banged up, but he came back out. If you look at just the last 4 weeks, the Ravens ranked 22nd, giving up 31.5. They've given up 685 yards in 4 games, so the numbers are going to be there. You know the Jets are playing from behind in every single game. This is why I was targeting Garrett Wilson before the season. Obviously, that backfired with injuries. But the volume is what I chase, and the volume is going to be here. Yeah, John Mechie was out there as well. He put like 83% of the snaps. He got the touchdown. Could you dart throw him out there as well as a deep sleeper if you wanted to? But I like the talent, the 9.99 Raz, number 6 wide receiver of all time, athletic ability at the combine. I have been enamored with Adonai Mitchell for a long, long time, and I can't wait to see the showcase that's about to happen. And I'm telling you, if you guys take time, if you're listening right now, you made it this far into the video, if you take time to watch this game, just focus your eyes offensively on Adonai Mitchell throughout the game, right? Just keep your eyes on number 15 and watch the footwork, watch off the line, watch the hand checks, watch how fast he is side to side. It's going to blow you away. And I love Adonai Mitchell as a flex play this week, especially with the update. I'm not going to say as much as Michael Wilson. He's more of a low-end flex play for me, but the opportunity is going to be there in bunches. Heading over to the tight end side, sleeper play number 9, tight end number 1 is going to be Mason Taylor, the rookie out of LSU. And why I like this, again, is the same reason for Adonai Mitchell that we just covered. You are going to have Tyrod Taylor back in at quarterback, again, which I just talked about, which should make the passing game anything better than Justin Fields has done. Let's be real. And I was very high on Justin Fields, and that has been a miss. But he can still put up 20 points with his legs, but it's just been so ugly. I can't get behind it. It was a bad call. So you're going to get the Baltimore Ravens again. Now, we looked at the Baltimore Ravens versus the wide receiver. They've been struggling. We're going to look at the Baltimore Ravens versus the tight end now. The Baltimore Ravens on the season versus the tight end. This is the last 4 weeks. Hang on, let me pull up my other sheet here. They are number 9 overall. They're very good. They rank in at 11.7. They've given up 52 receptions for 532 yards, or 30 yards, only 2 touchdowns. So they've been good. But you have to look at it like volume-wise, right? Like, let's look like Monday Night Football last week, right? The Raiders were very good versus the tight end, and Jake Ferguson still scored. The opportunities can still be there. And look at how much this guy is on the field. This is crazy numbers that are like overlooked here. His target share is 18.6. That's number 12. Very good for a rookie. Snap share, 82%, top 10. Elite tight end 1 usage. That is more than Mark Andrews by 30%, by the way, just to give you an example. Route participation, 93.2. That is number 2 in the NFL. That is bonkers, only behind Cade Otton, who is out there all the time just running wind sprints. He's also played 111 slot snaps, so they use him all over. He's not just like an inline tight end. They use him in the slot. They sometimes even use him out of the backfield, which is crazy. Red zone targets, he's number 12 with 8, and he's tight end 31 because he hasn't had that great of a year, right? He's tight end 26 with 96.9 points. That is up. So, yeah, the Baltimore Ravens matchups can be rough, but what do you look for? And the same thing I said with Adonai Mitchell. You're looking for volume. You're looking for trailing. You're looking for garbage time, which is what they're going to have. and their 21, 22, 23, 24, 25-year-olds aren't coming off the field. They're going to see what they have and get their NFL career going and make them learn as they go. So even if they're getting blown out, he's not coming off the field, which you can see with the route participation right there. So Mason Taylor, if you need a plug-and-play tight end play with Tyrod Taylor in, I'm okay with it as a low-end tight end 2 this week with touchdown upside because he never comes off the field. Sleeper play, last but not least, number 10, tight end number 2, Jatavion Sanders. You know you had to target my San Francisco 49er defense, which is beat to shit. So if I like Bryce Young as a sleeper, I'm probably going to like the tight end as a sleeper, and that is going to be Jatavion Sanders, who has been emerging here over the past 2 weeks. So against New Orleans and Atlanta, he's averaged 19 points in those 2 games, almost 10 points a game. He's had 9 targets over the 2 games, about a 4.5 rate, still low at like 30, 32 yards. But when you're looking at my 49ers defense, and what have I been saying? This is like what you target. This is your pot of gold. This is a possible shootout game because our 49ers offense is going to be unstoppable. We're going to score 30 points a game probably for the rest of the season, and our defense doesn't stop anybody. Now, again, beginning of the season here, our tight end, we were like top 3. Fred Warner always locks down the tight end. Since week 4, we've dropped to 25th, giving up 15.4 points to the tight end, 631 yards and 7 touchdowns, which is tied for second worst in the NFL. So again, if you're looking at a shootout game here with Purdy, Kittle, CMC, Ricky Pearsall back, Juan Jennings out there, and we put up 30, they're going to have to keep up as well. And we are very, very weak versus the pass and versus the tight end. We can just get crushed everywhere. So if you need a dart throw, again, deeper play, like low end, I'll say tight end 3 play right here, or low end tight end 2, as low as you could go with Jatavion Sanders, because he has put up 10 points in back-to-back games at an average. So I can't say, tight end 3. He's got touchdown upside. He's got sleeper big time play here because I think this game is going to be a shootout. I think people are not realizing that at all. Thanks for rocking with me. That's the end of the episode. That is my top 10 sleeper plays if you need to plug and play. Remember, sleeper plays, not over your stud wide receiver 2 or running back 2s. But if you guys have the questions and you think it's close off the information I gave you, drop them in there. I'll answer it to tell you if I like that sleeper over someone you have. Now, before we head out, guys, make sure you tap that thumbs up, hit that subscription button, turn that bell on. I'll be live tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern. I always got to use Eastern time. I'm California time. So 3 p.m. my time, 6 p.m. Eastern time, first start sit show of the week, and then we lead right into Big Draft Energy show right after me, the co-host on my show. So we can be back-to-back hours so you can cover everything you guys need, and my show will raid right into his so you don't even have to leave the channel. And if you guys haven't already, check out the guys FF and drafters.com to sponsor. Both those links are in if you want to sign up or if you want to join the Discord. Those are there as well. I just dropped my Smash Start wide receiver video. Next, we're going to get into the rankings. So I'm going to do my kicker top 10 plus my 3 streamers and defense top 10 plus my 3 streamers. And then tomorrow, hopefully, I get to all the stardom sit-ems and then we're ready to go before the kickoff tomorrow. So I hope you guys enjoyed the content. That's it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Sleazebomb out.